Okay, shall we start, gentlemen?
Yep.
Yes. So first, thank you for the interview. It was nice to try to organize this before your performance, right afterwards. So thank you, because lots of artists need a rest and to concentrate before the performance. So thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a few questions because, as I told you, the band is not well known in France. So it's been created, if I'm right, around 14 years ago. Am I correct?
You know better than me, I guess.
Yes,
Is that true?
That's correct.
That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 14 years ago.
So we don't know about the most in France, and then if you can describe your biography, what you've done before of all those 14 years, for our French listeners, could be a good thing.
Okay.
Who
Who
starts?
will start?
We all came from the same town up north in Sweden, and we listened to similar music, and we were all raised and born during the punk era, I think. So we listened to a lot of punk music, and that's where we got our attitude.
All right.
And but then we all of us liked Elvis and the 50s kind of music, so we kind of thought we should blend that together, and then we formed a band.
So you blended Elvis and punk music, punk rock music.
Yeah.
Good mixture.
Energy from punk, the melodies is from the 60s and the 50s. Yeah.
Okay, so you've done how many records have you?
We've done 3 vinyl EPs,
Yes.
and now this one, the CD, full-length CD.
This is a full-length CD.
Yeah.
The first one, huh?
The
Correct?
first one.
Yeah.
And now we're mixing the second, and we're planning to record our 3rd full-length album.
Oh yes, so
So-
it was a part of my questions because we were so surprised that creating the band 14 years ago, the first full album arrived 14 years afterwards. We were quite surprised for that, and this was one of our questions.
Yeah, we're in no
Yeah.
hurry.
You're not in a
No,
hurry.
we have a backlog of great songs.
We got
Which was-
hundreds of songs
Yeah.
recorded.
We sometimes rediscover them. Okay, let's finish off that one and mix it or record it again or learn it and play it live. So they kind of, I don't know how many numbers there are totally.
Hundreds.
Oh yeah.
Good. Do you have extra jobs? You all of you, or only music?
We all have
Daytime jobs.
Daytime job.
Mm.
Yes.
All of you.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Sorry to ask this question, but
but I think the important thing is not to compromise. And by having day jobs, we don't need to compromise. We can lead a good life and choose whatever gigs we want to. I mean,
yes.
so, which is really fortunate, I think, because then we can do whatever we
Yeah,
want.
you're not music dependent,
We're not music dependent.
No.
so it's a good thing because you can do whatever you wish to do and you enjoy whatever you wish to
Yes.
enjoy.
And as
course.
long as you can do that, you can develop and have fun. But then,
Then again, of course, sometimes you want to have more time to develop certain things, and we might not have all the time for that. But this is a great way to do it on the road, basically, as we get into playing in France right now, because there's a lot of spontaneous discussion, and it tightens the mood, the good mood of the band.
it's also a learning process, the whole thing. To come here and play in France, play in the UK, play in Germany. We played in Spain last time.
December.
So we learn everything, pick up things along the road. I mean, music can only end up in one way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to the grave. Some people make it, like Chuck Berry is playing Denmark this weekend. He's 87 years old, and he's
Yeah.
one of our big heroes.
Mm.
But some people are not that fortunate. Many bands from the 90s, like Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, and they have 3 years and then they burn out.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Good. Okay.
We like a certain longevity, like the Rolling Stones say. Pretty things.
the
50
Rolling
years.
Stones, they have never landed. They started in the early 60s, and they're still selling out these big arenas and doing the big thing, which is really cool.
I agree with you. They never landed.
They never landed.
It just took off.
And just last weekend there was this show on TV, the Beatles celebrating the 50th anniversary or something.
Yeah.
And we were showing clips from the early 60s, like this is our history, this is ancient history, but the Rolling Stones are still doing it.
Yes.
Which is
Amazing, huh?
amazing.
Those are quite old. I mean, I wonder how they do. Yeah, I know maybe how to do it.
I bought a ticket for the show in Stockholm in July.
Why those vinyl records? Why? Just to be, as you mentioned before, exactly in the way it should have been done in the 60s?
Of course. We record onto reel tape with reel-to-reel recorders. And we use analog gear from the 50s and 60s. We don't want to compromise on that either.
It's strange.
It's
You could find some still available items.
we buy it from everywhere. I mean, sometimes the things blow up and then we have to try to find somebody who can fix the stuff. It's fun. It's a part of the process. 14 years.
14 years, 14 years to make that. Okay.
The great thing with vintage gear, it sounds natural in a way. It sounds good for most and all, but it sounds very natural. And our music is kind of spontaneous, and we like to play like 4 guys in the room once and cutting basic tracks and not so
keep
much
overdubs at a minimum. And also there's a new generation now rediscovering vinyl. And a couple of years ago I suspected this was happening, but now we can see it happening for real. So
Yes, you're right.
young people collecting vinyl, and I think they feel that they have their own thing, because young people always want to be rebellious. Now their parents have CDs and MP3 players and whatnot, and now they can rediscover vinyl.
Do you mean now it's a generation after their parents now rediscovering vinyls and
Yeah, now
fans of it? I was really wondering why so many vinyls recorded. Okay, your music can be defined, correct me if I'm wrong, as beat music.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
How would you define the kind of music you play? A mixture between the punk rock music and Elvis, or how would you describe this?
Also, a lot of black music. We love black music, like from the early blues players, like B.B. King and.
You know, these guys that Franz are talking about here, he's talking about guys like Chuck Berry and all the blues guys. They certainly influenced the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, didn't they? And they progressed and took the music a little bit further, and that's also what we're trying to achieve. Try to pick up, try to look back, whereas most...
where it started.
Yeah, where it started,
Johnson,
behind, going back to the 20s, 30s, whatever. Yeah, that's very interesting.
We're not inspired by Def Leppard.
No, I mean, you would be surprised, because Mark's site, is United Rock Nation, is very based on metal music.
Yeah, I know, but...
Yeah.
But I mean...
we grew up listening to that too. I love Black Sabbath, for instance, and many good bands. Led Zeppelin, and we like that.
Yeah, of course. I'm not surprised you mentioned you like good black music, because in one of your songs, in Auto-Destructive Art, let me check which one. Yes, I Don't Want It. It sounds like soul music. Yeah. And it was one of my questions, if you were been inspired by black music and
we love soul music and gospel music and all that. Marvin Gaye and Otis Redding are fantastic.
Yeah, you're fans of those guys. It sounds like, really, because I was surprised when we listened to your albums. It sounds really like soul black music. Right.
We like that. We like that groove, I guess, kind of groove.
Yeah.
We're white people, but we try.
We try. Many people have tried.
Many people have tried.
White guys.
So what you try to do is to go back to the source, to the origin.
It's to Africa, really.
Yeah, to find
And
our own way
music.
forward.
I love
Ska music.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
Yeah.
Prince Buster and the Scatolites and all that. It's fantastic.
And early Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Do you think
do
you think European music in the early 60s or 50s are inspired by black music at the beginning?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Also a little bit bluegrass and
folk
country music and stuff like that, but in the end it's black blues.
All right.
I guess we like a lot of American and British white artists too, like the zombies, the birds, you name it. Pretty Things, as I mentioned. There are a lot of heroes, of course, in that.
And I had
That's how it started, for me at least. I discovered those bands, and like Franz describes them, we heard these other older guys. that was quite something.
I have to mention my favorite French artist, Jacques Dutronc. I don't know if I can pronounce it correctly, but
Yes, it's correctly
it was
pronounced.
really cool in the beginning.
But it's due to your French origins, huh?
Yeah, of course.
Correct?
I don't know if he's popular in France or not.
He is. He is very popular.
I don't understand the lyrics, but it's got a good beat.
It's
That's very good.
he's still singing, and his son is now very active in singing in France as well.
Okay.
He's famous, his son.
All right.
But, so both are still singing. Interesting.
Cool.
Not the Rolling Stone story, but interesting. You played in Liverpool,
Yes, we did.
as we mentioned, at the famous Cavern Club. It was
Yes.
last year.
Last year.
Can you tell us a bit more about this experience? Unfortunately, you didn't leave. I'm sorry for you, but you will leave soon. The really good video we saw on the internet is really amazing.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit more about that experience?
Well, we actually did 3 gigs at the Cavern Club.
3 days.
Yeah, May last year, and it was amazing standing on that stage, and the atmosphere and everything. So we will actually go back in 3 weeks from now to play again. And
In
we-
Liverpool, another 3 dates or only one?
2 gigs at the Cavern Club, and then one in Manchester, and then another also in Liverpool someplace. So we'll do 4 shows in 3 days.
So north of England.
Yeah.
Back to the roots.
Well, some roots. Yeah.
The way you live was very specific, I guess. It's how do you feel that atmosphere?
Well, in Liverpool,
Yes.
it was really cool because we went on a tour and they showed us all the places where they all lived. George Harrison, where he lived, and Paul McCartney and his brother and father. And then they showed us the place where John Lennon got married, and then they showed us where they started the Quarrymen, the first band where they played. And then they showed us
Penny Lane and
Penny
Strawberry
Lane and
Fields.
Strawberry Fields and all of that. And so we were really overwhelmed and overpowered by that.
And then we went and
atmosphere.
played our own gig.
Yeah.
And then we played our own gig, and it was not only the Beatles who played there, but also the Rolling Stones and the Kinks and other bands we like. So just feeling
Even the
part
Who.
of that. I mean, the history stretches over a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
we're only borrowing time here and now. So
Liverpool was impressive in the early 60s. Bands like the Searchers and the Beatles and whoever. Yeah. So it was great vibe to be there. We're glad to get back.
we could all fall.
To be asked to get back.
We could all fall down and die now. We're satisfied. We're done.
Yeah. And we're going to do it again. So we can die twice.
Well,
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. One question is specific. The video She Nuts, the video you made, looks like a celebration of strawberry fields.
you think so?
Looks like.
You got a good eye.
Yeah.
Did you do it on purpose or just?
Actually, it was autumn in Umeå, and we liked the colors, and we remember that the video by the Beatles.
Yeah.
They had similar colors, and then in the video they were running backwards, and then they played it reversed, and they ran forward. So we did the same thing because we want to give them a good nod, you know. our
Tip of the
idols.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was.
It was a celebration. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Long
And we
answer.
also we shoot it in Super 8 film.
We just Super 8.
Super 8.
Yeah, you know.
Still the same story to the items that were used
Yeah.
at that time.
So we have to send it to Germany to process it, and then a month later we see what became
If
of
it turned out.
If it turned out.
And by then the colors are gone. Because one of the reels that we shot with the Super 8 didn't turn out, it was black. So.
So yeah, we don't do it the easy
Melt.
way.
You can forget the lens cap and probably have to remove it.
And the next video you're gonna do will be turned in Super 8 as well, or
We've done 5 in
5
I
videos
think
in
five.
Super 8
Yes.
Yeah.
each.
The latest is called Really Good. It came out just a
I've
week
seen it.
ago.
You've seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
A week ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's from the cabin.
Didn't say it.
this one.
Yeah,
You
really good.
saw the cabin.
No, you're really good at it.
Yeah. Yep.
Back to your autodestructive art album. I'd like to ask you question about 3 specific songs,
Okay.
because each song reminds us something.
Yeah.
Not because any copy or whatever. I mean, it reminds the sound, the kind of sound, the something, the strings you use and that kind of stuff. And the first is Problems. Reminds the Who's in my generation. Sounds like. But you mentioned the Who, I guess, no? Before.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's a part of your inspiration. So now I'm not surprised that I could ask you this question. I guess I know the answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct?
Of course.
The second question was I don't want it, and we answered before because it sounds really like soul music,
Yes.
and you said your inspiration was very close to black music. And the last one is do you want to know? The sound is quite different as well because it sounds like the sound by itself. It reminds us the 70s sound, and the guitar, the sound of the guitar is very on that song, on that specific song. Remind us Robbie Krieger, the guitar leader of the Doors. The sound of the guitar sound like
thank
very,
you.
very close.
That was not intentional,
Yes.
but we love the Doors too.
Yes,
Amazing.
and sometimes I heard this before. I mean, the kind of sounds, not the strings and whatever, but this sound is like the Doors.
Oh, that
Well,
wasn't
some-
So
intentional.
now Jim Morrison's grave, they moved it, right?
Yes, it's in Paris.
But then they moved his grave because the people
The graffiti.
running it. Yeah. So do you know what the new location
No, I not. Unfortunately, I could know that, and I'll let you know.
is? Okay.
Okay. For next time you'll go to Paris, and this time we meet each other in Paris.
So you just need to buy some spray cans away.
Yeah, spray.
No, I'll tell you. If possible, because if they moved it, maybe they don't want people to be informed of what it is.
I guess one further answer to your question is that many things like these come to us very naturally. So they might
We
end up
don't
similar. You hear one thing which is very similar to what we hear when we do it, and it's very nice to get this kind of feedback.
It's
If you say you take it as an honor. If it reminded you of Robbie Krieger, certainly, but Franz might have had different things in mind, I'm sure.
We did not sit and listen to records. Oh, let's try to do this. Right? It just comes naturally. Without.
It was not the sense of my question.
No, I like that.
Okay. Question to all of you, and would you like to unwind the time and live in the 60s?
Of course.
All of you?
I'm not sure. I just want to live right now.
You would like?
Just for 5 years. 1964 until
69?
69.
64 to 69?
Years.
That would be perfect.
All those 5 years only.
All of those.
And go to all the shows, of course. All right.
So this is not it's not a nostalgic music. It's your music,
Yes,
basically.
of course.
There are some things that can never be recreated, except when we try to do it.
And this is very important. We are not a retro band. We are not nostalgic. We're having fun, and when we write music, we write whatever comes out. So we're not a retro band. We live and breathe this music, and it's a part of our systems. We're not trying. We're not trying hard. It comes naturally.
Who write the lyrics, the musics? All of you are involved in writing music and lyrics and
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah. Franz writes most of it. I write a few songs, and then we all help put them
Oh,
together.
With the actually arrangements, we work it out
Yeah.
till everyone is satisfied with his part.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
sounds together, and like most songs should do.
Okay, so the next question, did you plan to record a new full-length album? But you answered it before, because you're mixing
Well,
the new one at the moment,
Yeah.
and you plan to do a third one.
yes, we're writing songs for that, so we have.
Yeah.
So
It was
now
good.
you will not have to wait another 14 years.
Okay, maybe last questions, because maybe you're gonna go there. Sweden produces, in my view, many rock bands, and not the famous one, and not the stars one, but really many rock bands are coming from Sweden to tour worldwide, Europe, whatever. Do you have an explanation for that? Is it a reason, or
No.
All
I have
of those
no idea.
bands we mentioned earlier, they came to Sweden in the 60s and played. So many of the bands like Kings and the Beatles, they came and played in Sweden. Sweden was a natural country for them to come and play. And so I think Sweden has been a part of that scene a little bit. And also Sweden is very boring, so you need to do something. You need to
Yeah.
create.
Yeah.
There were certainly many 60s bands in Sweden. Not all of them were all good, but they were huge.
Yes, in the 60s.
Huge
The
growth
big
of
music
bands
scene.
and a music scene, and everyone listened to the local band and bought the records by the Kinks, etc., and Searchers, and from that it grew. So I guess it's gone down a generation or two.
We are not very nationalistic. I think you are in France, maybe. You like
What?
your French culture and traditions. In
Yes.
Sweden, if you say you're from France and you come to Sweden, you say, "Oh, teach us what you know. Like, give us your, inspire us." You say we're very willing to take on new things.
you have culture in Sweden, don't you? No?
We do, but it's pretty bleak. Don't ask me. I'm part French.
The last man part Finnish.
Okay, guys. So I'm glad we don't have to wait another extra 14 years for your next album. We enjoy listening your first one, so I hope you will enjoy listening coming ones.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you for the time you passed with us, and be sure we'll be supporting your efforts for going back to the roots.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
We're the most, and we like to thank everyone to listening to this at United Rock Nations.
Next time we have this.
We did.
Good.
Hello everyone, we are the Most, and we would like to thank you for listening to United Rock Nations.
We're a Swedish band called The Most. Thank you for listening to our songs on United Rock Nation.
Nation.
Yeah.
Good.
I see it coming for you. Why can't you get it right? I know all about your tricks.